This is reducing radicals with rational exponents. Here are some rules for you to write down. The first rule is when you have a base raised to a fractional power. You can rewrite that in radical form by having your base underneath the radical. Your power is still the same, but notice now this denominator becomes your index. So here's an example. We have 3 raised to the 1/2 power. Write our radical sign. Our base of 3 goes underneath. This is still our power. And now our index is 2. So we say then that is the square root of 3. So I'm just going to rewrite that because we don't like to have that 2 there. It's not needed. That's the square root of 3. Here's our second rule. Very similar. It has the base of A, so that's going to go underneath. And then you have your power. Now this power can be written 2 ways. It can be written outside or underneath the radical. And then our index is still n and n, but notice this difference from this part here, where you have your parentheses raised to a power, and this one doesn't have it because it has the m underneath. So here's our example. So we have 5 raised to the 2/3 power. So we write our radical, our base is 5, raised to the 2nd power, and then we have the 3 underneath. So that's how it would look in the first way, or you'd have 5 times 5 is 25, and then cube root. The other way is 5 cube root, and then you raise this whole thing to the 2nd power. Now, it kind of depends on the problems of which form you would leave it in. Now, I say this looks a lot nicer than this one here. So, we'll get some practice in a little bit here, and then doing your assignment to see which way is better. So here's our first set of problems. Change from a radical to an exponential. So we're going to go the other way. So we have our radical of the square root. So I'm going to just go ahead and put the index of 2, and then a power of 1. So we say 6 raised to the 1, and then divided by 2. So 6 to the 1/2 power. All right, here's our second example. Our index is a 2, it's a square root. So we say 3xy raised to the 5/2 power. All right, a few more here. Write it x raised to the 3. Now notice our index isn't a square root anymore. It is index of 9. So that goes in your denominator. Now can we reduce that fraction? Yes. That can be x. 3 divided by 9 can reduce to 1/3. So x raised to the 1/3 power. All right, here's our next example. Our index is now a 4, so we have -12 raised to the 3/4 power. All right, last one of these. -5. There's no value here, so I'm going to go ahead and put a 1 there, 5. So it's 1/3 power. Negative, parentheses, 5 raised to the 1/3. All right, now we're doing the opposite. We're going to take some of these exponentials and rewrite them in radical form. So, radical, 32, that's our base. Power is 1/5 root. Now we've learned already how to reduce these radicals down. Our index is 5, so we want a exponential that is the same power or same index and power to match up. So I think, okay, 32. 2 raised to the 5th power is 32. So now you'll notice then your index and your power match up. They'll undo each other. So your final answer then is a 2. All right, example B here. Rewrite it into radical form. So x negative 4, and then 3. Now, if you remember anything about negative powers, this looks kind of goofy, having a negative power into here. So what we want to do first is think back to your exponent rules. And we're going to take that negative power and we're going to flip it. That's going to be 1 over x, and now it raises that to a positive 4/3. All right, so now we'll go ahead to the denominator and rewrite that. So it's x 4th cube root. Can we take an x cubed and an x to the 1 to give us x to the 4th? Oops, this should be a 3 here. Now what happens to these two pieces right here? They undo each other. So it's 1 over, pull out the x, cubed root of x. Now we'll get later into rationalizing denominators, but this is good for now. All right, next one. 2. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that y as a y cubed 4th root, and then z 1 4th root. Now, these are radicals that have the same index. They are both indexes of 4. So can we combine them into one radical? Yes. So we say 2 4th root, and now we put this y cubed and this z together. So y cubed, z to the 1st. All right, last example. All right, we have that negative 4/5 power again. So if you remember from part B, we want to flip it. So 1 over negative 32 raised to the positive 4/5. All right, now we're going to go ahead and take that negative 32 4/5 and rewrite it as a radical. So it's negative 32 4th power, and then 5th root.